baby. Have you missed us? Off the Leash is back, episode 28. Welcome. What a week to be back as well. 3 big finals. And as ever, we're in open class company. Tony Bullen, the Racing Post, joins us. Tony, how are you?
Yeah, not too bad. Raring to go. We had a little bit of a break. And what racing we're coming back to, Dave?
Yeah, incredible. Absolutely incredible. Stars over 4 bends, 6 bends, Stars of the Future as well. It's a Category 1 doubleheader at Monmore on Saturday night. And it is, of course, the Puppy Classic final on Monday night. All live on the Premier Greyhound Racing Service behind the red button on Sky Sports Racing. They are our sponsors. And, of course, you are joining us here on the Racing Post YouTube channel. All your action, whether you like your horse race. We've got a new football show as well, The Assist, every Thursday. Get subscribed, get tuned in, like, comment, and let us know your thoughts as well. But we've got it all covered here at the Racing Post YouTube channel, and we will press on then. We're going to start. We're not going to go chronological. We're going to start with the Stars of the Future first, and we're going to head off to Nottingham. JenningsBet Puppy Classic final. Now, this is one of the big puppy competitions, Tony, isn't it? If you've got a youngster that stays the 4 bends well, this is the competition you go for. Yeah,
this is always one of those events that throws up the 1 or 2 Stars of the Future, and this year it doesn't look any exception, Dave, on what we've seen.
Yeah, going to be a brilliant night of racing. You've got the Puppy Classic final sponsored by JenningsBet. Also got the Select Stakes and the Select Stayers on the same card as well. So it'll be a brilliant night of action. Let's have a look at how the finalists got there then, and we'll include in the 3rd semi-final Greyhound, who was shot to the head of the betting for next year's Derby itself. A real superstar. The track record went in the semi-final, but we'll get to that. First, we'll start with semi-final number 1. Now, Droopy's Extra Good in 3, 29.93, and No Better Feeling in 1 were your 2 qualifiers here, Traps 3 and 1. And this was a race I was kind of watching between my fingers here, because we put 2 up in the price-wise in the Racing Post. Droopy's Extra Good at 22s, No Better Feeling at 33s. Obviously, Missile 1 was expected to qualify here, Tony, but it was Traps 3 and 1. What did you make of this one?
Yeah, it got scrappy around the opening turns. I mean, the Missile 1 dog was looking for the inside and couldn't edge across. All of a sudden, No Better Feeling was left out in front, but all credit to Droopy's Extra Good. Really showed a bit of all-round pace. And these 2, No Better Feeling and Droopy's Extra Good, are probably best mates. They've been meeting each other. They met in the gym crack at Sheffield, where they reached the final. They met in the Sunderland Puppy Cup, where they reached the final, and now they're in this particular final. But Droopy's Extra Good, all credit to him. He really knuckled down to the task.
Yeah, I thought it was a really fair effort, actually, because the No Better Feeling dog wouldn't be a short runner in my eyes.
No, I mean, at Sunderland, he looked a little bit of an unlucky dog, the No Better Feeling. But as I say, well, I was impressed with the Droopy's Extra Good to peg back No Better Feeling.
Right, let's move on then to semi-final number 2, again over the 500 metres. Kilgarren J in Trap 3, 30.25. And Black House Kim, the Newcastle radio, was the favourite in Trap 5. So Traps 3, Kilgarren J, Black House Kim in 5. They were your 2 qualifiers.
Yeah, all credit to this Kilgarren J. I mean, local grader, sort of stepping up in class, and he's coped really well with it. I mean, no match for Marshall and Freddie when they met, but he's run really well. The Fire and Ice dog's got a nice bit of early. And this Kilgarren J, he's doing Connections proud on his own backyard and got a nice bit of early pace and just sustained a decent enough gallop. Looks a little bit limited on the clock, but he's in the final and Connections will be absolutely delighted.
Yep, 3 and 5, your 2 qualifiers there. Right, we'll move on now then to the 3rd semi-final. The anti-post favourite lined up here, March On Freddie for Dave Mullins, Trap 6. Barocca Bungle, who won the BGBF Maiden Derby up at Newcastle for the British Breds. But March On Freddie here lowered the track record. The likes of Ballymat Esky, Skywalker Logan all had held this clock in recent years over the 500 metres. And this Greyhound covered the ground in just 29 seconds. That was your winning time. This was impressive once again, Tony. What are we looking at here? Are we looking at Greyhound Racing's new superstar?
Well, right down. I mean, to do what he's doing, I mean, he's winning by double digits, and it's not like the race has been carved up in behind. He's doing it through pace. He's got it all, this dog. He's a big dog as well, 36.5 kilos, but he's got the early, the middle, and stays, and that's why he's destroying the opposition in fast times. What a dog. Since stepping up to a stiffer 4 bends, it's been the making of him, Dave. He didn't fare well in that Sunderland event, but this 500 metres at Nottingham is just showing what a classy youngster he is.
Yeah, just love the way he just skips off the ground, did he, to the first bend and into the third turn as well. His dog's got brutal pace. And as I mentioned at the top of the show, he's with a few of the firms anti-post favourite for the next year's Greyhound Derby. Trainer Dave Mullins has mentioned in the Racing Post about, a potential tilt at the Irish Derby later this year with it being run later in the calendar. He looks the real deal, doesn't he?
Yeah, no, I mean, I don't blame, like, people get these good dogs that come along. It's like finding a gem. They don't come along often, and if you've got the dog, take them on. Like, go to the Irish Derby. He's clearly quick enough. Dogs don't do 29 dead at Nottingham. Nottingham is a proper test of a dog, as you well know, Dave. To post 29 dead is absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah, it is. And do you know what I like as well? The fact he's a wide, and he keeps a wide line. From, you see in the select stakes, we've not seen the draw yet, but there's 6 railers in that. If you can get a fast seeded dog in any competition that you go in, it's always going to be, it's just the nature of the sport, the makeup of all these competitions with tactical seeding, everything you see in it. A fast seeded dog, you're going to get your draw. If you can handle trap 6, you're going to go deep.
Yeah, I mean, and as I say, he's only had 9 races. I mean, he won on debut at Romford, broke the 24 seconds, won at Hove, but he's clearly in his element over a true 4-bend distance.
Yeah, really nice time. Well, he's not actually got 6 after all of that from me. He ended up in trap 5 because there's 2 wides in it. Let's have a look at the draw then. This will be the £12,500 JenningsBet Puppy Classic final, the 8:36 at Nottingham on Monday night. Trap 1, Rocker Bungle, 16-1. Droopy's Extra Good, 6-1. No Better Feeling in 3 at 20s. Kilgarren J at a pony, 25-1 in trap 4. Then the 2 seeded dogs, March on Freddy, the wide at 1-4. Black House Kim, the wide in trap 6 at 25-1. Now, we're not going to sit here and harp on about a 1-4 chance, but this dog is going to take some beating, isn't he?
Without a doubt. I mean, if he does what he's been doing, Dave, it's a race for the places. There's nothing that can live with March on Freddy in his current mood. So, yeah, it's 5 race to lose. I think Droopy's Extra Good looks the main forecast link on what I saw in that semi-final. He really dug deep. I think he can dig deep to probably finish second if March on Freddy has the race sewn up by the 3rd bend. And I suppose if you're looking for TriCast, I think Black House Kim can mind her own business out wide. It might be a 5-2-6 in the final.
Well, there you go. Tony's sticking up a TriCast for you there. I do like the Extra Good dog for the forecast here. I was very taken in the semi-final. The fact he was able to fetch in No Better Feeling tells me that, he won't be one that wilts if headed by March on Freddy, which looks likely, doesn't it, going into the turn here. So 5 to lead, 5 to make all, and I'll be with Droopy's Extra Good as well for the forecast. The stars of the future on show, and no brighter star than March on Freddy. Broke the track record in the semi-finals, and he heads the betting for next year's Derby. How will he go in the Puppy Classic? We'll tune in on Monday night to find out. Right, off to Saturday and Monmore, and what a card this is going to be. 4 finals already on the card, 2 biggies as well. It's a Cat 1 double header. Both sponsored by Ladbrokes, £10,000 to the winner in both of those events. And we're going to start over the 4 bends. We're going to start the Gold Cup, 480 metres. And Antigua Eagle, formerly known as Omar Hurty, the commentator's nightmare, did the business in the opening semi, 28-29. Trap 5 now with Kevin Hutton. Untold Euro in trap 1, your other qualifier. So 5 over 1 here. This was quite pleasing. It was, the price-wise selection, the Racing Post, 10-1. We go marching on, and this dog's really putting it together now, Tony.
Yeah, he was a bit fortunate to scramble through in the first round. He completely missed the break, but managed to scramble through. But he didn't make that mistake in the semi-finals, Dave. And he's showing what a good dog he is when he gets on the skin. He's got some fast times to his names at Newcastle. Showed that he runs Monmore when contesting the Puppy Derby final. And he's a big player here. I mean, he's a really good dog when he gets off the front. That's where he shows his best form, and that's where his real chance of winning this event lies. Yeah,
very tight to the rail, just sort of around the 1st and 2nd bend at Monmore. So when we get to the draw, just bear that in mind. So Antigua Eagle doing the business there. Right, we move on to the 2nd semi-final, and this saw the anti-post favourite Churchfield Sid in trap 6, 28.09 ground that marched all the way to the final of the Greyhound Derby. The Kent Derby winner, of course, won the Windsor Derby as well before being disqualified and have that taken away from him. But what a story, this dog. It just carries on page after page, chapter after chapter. Unfinished business, perhaps, at Monmore after breaking down in the semi-finals of the Midlands Puppy Derby and picking up a really bad injury when clearing his semi-final. Then I mentioned what happened in the Winter Derby. And here he is again. And he marches on into Saturday night's big final. And this is a really, really classy dog.
Yeah, you could write a book about his the life and times of Churchfield Sid at Monmore, Dave. Like, as you say, that injury, won the Winter Derby, obviously got disqualified, but he came into this event fresh following his exploits in the Derby at Toaster, and he just loves this track. He just busts the gut to get to the front. He's brave at the turn. It could have gone wrong for him at the turn. He just decided, I want to cut across. If I get bumped, I'll get bumped. But he's just very clever dog, and when he gets on the bunny, look at the times that he posts, sub 28 seconds. He's just a very good dog, and obviously a worthy favourite.
Yeah, I spoke to Richard Rees after the opening round when he done the business, and he said to me he just loves the place. He just loves Monmore. And, you know, they gave him a few weeks off after the Derby, and then he's trialled back. And he said to me, his exact words were, this dog's as good as he's ever been. And he looks exactly that, doesn't he? 28.09 there, clear on the clock of rivals. We'll have a look at the third semi-final in a moment, but this dog's flying. Yeah,
I can imagine when they pull up in the van, like when I used to go racing with my dad, like you get dogs and they know what track they're at. They get out and they're like, oh, I'm at Hove or I'm at Monmore. They do know, and the dog clearly comes alive when he sees it at Monmore Churchfield Sid.
Right, let's move on then, shall we? Semi-final number 3. Cunningar Usar in trap 1, 28.32. Ballymac John in trap 2, finishing second. Inside boxes dominating. The inside racing line was crucial here, wasn't it?
Yeah, he's always been a nice dog, this Cunningar Usar. Not rolls off the tongue, but he's got a bit of pace, and he's been rolling out the boxes, Nathan Hunt's charge. He's sort of brought a bit of consistency to the table in recent weeks, Dave. And again, his best form is off the front, but Monmore is a speed 4 bends, so you're going to have to get in prime position. But he's done it well. He's done it well in heat and semi-final, and he's got to be a big player if he can come away running once again.
Yeah, he does like the red jacket, which he'll lose in the final. We'll move to the draw now. Ladbrokes Gold Cup final, £10,000 to the winner, the 8.47 at Monmore on Saturday night. And here is the draw. Ballymac John in 1 at 10-1. And Cunningar Usar, I just mentioned, in trap 2 at 6-1. Untold Euro at 14s. Seaview Sydney in the middle. Another one for Nathan Hunt, who's got 2 and 4 in here at 22-1. Antigua Eagle, the middle at 4-1. And Churchfield Sid, who's the anti-post favourite and the odds-on favourite for this final. The only wide seed at 5-6. Going to now my colours to the mast very early here. I mentioned Antigua Eagle stepping inside as the bend approaches. Churchfield Sid will do the same, but 5, I think, will just provide plenty of racing room for Churchfield Sid. And he's explosive out the boxes. If he comes away running like he can, it won't really matter what's happening on his inside anyway. So I'm going to go with Churchfield Sid. I think he's absolutely flying. He's clear on the clock. He's got the draw. He's ticking all the boxes for me. He is 5-6, but it just didn't sit right with me being with anything else because I thought he would come away racing and make the bend. Do you concur, Mr. Bullen?
Look, he's going to take the world of beating if he comes away running, but I do feel that 35 kilos of Antigua Eagle, I know he's going to be edging it across as well. Something's going to have to give, and it's not guaranteed that they get round unscathed. And I'm going to take a chance with Cunningar Usar to hopefully beat 1 and 3 to the punch. If he can manage to boss the inside, I think Nathan Hunt's charge wouldn't be necessarily a major upset, but upset the apple cart.
Well, the Kennel are absolutely flying as well. So they've got 2 in the final. They've got 1 in the Summer Classic final as well, which we'll move on to very shortly. But Tony going with a bit of value there. Cunningar Usar in trap 2. One of 2 big finals on the card at Monmore on Saturday night. Right, we'll move on to the second leg then of the Cat 1 double header. And this will be the Ladbrokes Summer Stayers Classic. And it's 630 metres. It's not really a lap and a half of the track because the traps are on top of the bend. They turn twice and then they've got a lap ahead of them, 630 metres. This is the race I'm looking forward to. Of all the big race competition coming up over the next few days, Tony, what a race. Before we get into it, we look back at the semi-finals. Most of the big guns, barring perhaps maybe a New Destiny, are here, and it's an absolute mouth-watering prospect, this one.
Yeah, it always looked like it was going to be a great final. It was such a fiercely contested event from the get-go. I mean, when the entries come through, I was like, wow, this is going to take some winning. Droopy's Clue was a worthy anti-post favourite. He's not really brought his A game to the table in the first round or the semi-finals, but the fact is he's in the final, Dave, and his draw inside Queen Georgia is a big plus for me. But I think there's all to play for off of what we saw in the semi-finals. Nothing can be ruled out.
All right, well, slow down. You're talking about draws and everything in the final. We're not even tackled the semi-finals yet. Right, you mentioned Droopy's Clue. That's where we're going to start. We're going to start with the first of the 3 semi-finals. Remember, first 2 go through to the final on Saturday night. Kunoff Crow did the business here. Now, this is a race that takes probably a couple of viewings to work out what the hell was actually going on. But Kunoff Crow was your winner in Trap 2, doing the business over Droopy's Clue in Trap 4, who was the anti-post favourite, as Tony mentioned, a winner of multiple big race competitions. But so is the winner, Tony. Kunoff Crow, of course, won the Grand Prix last year, won this year's Kent St Ledger down at Crayford as well. Gutsy, game, and of course stays.
Yeah, I mean, at one stage it looked like John Mullin's Swift Depot was going to cause a major upset because he got away, he got loose, did Swift Depot, and then the challengers were just queuing up in behind. But it was only late in the day that Kunoff Crow brought her stamina into play. I mean, she won the Kent St Ledger at Crayford, she won the Grand Prix last year. I mean, she's just been a tremendous servant to connections. The Droopy's Clue dog, he's just, that pizzazz has just been missing a little bit for me in the early stages, but he's been brave to just scramble through in this particular race. He only just managed to snatch second spot, and as I say, the fact that he remains in the event is reason for the others to be worried, Dave, because he was such a memorable second in this event last year behind the From Post to Pillar.
Yeah, I do understand what you're saying. If we go back to his St Ledger win, I think he's in all 3 rounds, you just went wallop, run away from him, and that was that. And we've not seen that from him. But, you know, in his defence, I suppose, there is very little margin for at the start here. I mean, you watch, just seen that first semi-final and watch the next 2 as well. Like the start, although this is 630 metres, the start is absolutely crucial. You're in with top class stayers. If you just miss it half a beat, you get squeezed out. Good dogs are gone. You know, so the start is going to be absolutely crucial, isn't it?
Yeah, without any short run to the bend, which is normally, if you've got a fast starting railer, you can nick an advantage because the time you've negotiated the first turns, you've taken a few lengths out of the middle or wide dogs naturally by taking the shorter route. But yeah, he could easily go bang on final night and show what all the fuss was about.
Well, in Seamus we trust. You will see. You will see. Right, let's move on to the second semi-final then. The fastest of the semi-final winners, or joint fastest, should I say, and Cooladeri Dust, who marched all the way through the Regency before getting it wrong at the start there, marches through this competition to the final. Cooladeri Dust in the business from Trap 5. Baywatch Bullet was your other qualifier, the winner of the Regency. So they reopposed. 5 beat 2 here. And the surge of middle pace this dog showed as they crossed the line for the first time. I mean, he went past Baywatch Bullet like she was standing still.
Yeah, I mean, when he claimed the sculpt with Droopy's Clue in the first round, he done a 12.35 split. He's done 12.72 and come home only 11 spots slower. This dog's got it all. He's got a nice bit of middle. When he sees daylight, he really does cover the ground. And as you touched on, that surge of middle pace that he showed to get to the front, and he just pulled clear thereafter. Baywatch Bullet, she's as game as they come, but just couldn't stay in touch with Cooladeri Dust. He's threatening to win a big one, is Cooladeri Dust. He contested the Coronation Cup at Romford, obviously Regency. I think he's got a great makeup out wide, Dave.
Yeah, we will see. But yeah, a brilliant winner. And Baywatch Bullet should be on royalties for this show. I mean, what a brilliant year she's had so far. She seems to have turned up and been in the shake-up of every big competition that she's entered in, giving Connection some ride. Yeah,
she's been a tremendous servant to Connections. Got a bit of a tricky draw to overcome, but she owes Connections nothing, and she'll run her heart out for all.
Right, let's move on to the third semi-final then. I had to double check there wasn't a typo here, but did post exactly the same time as Cooladeri Dust. The 3 Steps to Victory winner, Queen Georgia, 37.77. Savannah Jackpot as well was your other qualifier here. Traps 1 and 4, the 2 to focus on. Another race in which I was just watching in between your fingers, if you like. 16-1 Queen Georgia and 66-1 Savannah Jackpot, the 2 price-wise picks in the Racing Post. They both qualified, so we've got some sort of chance at big prices. But she's no nonsense, isn't she? She's classy. She's got all the pace that you need to get to the front. And she just asserted, and that was that.
Yeah, well, the experiment for Queen Georgia was the 3 Steps to Victory, wasn't it? She ran the first 2 rounds over the 4 bends, and it was a case of, well, does she stay? And Connections always felt that she would. She proved she did when she won the final very decisively. And she's held her form well since then. She went to Toast the Run well in a competition now. She's acquitted herself well on her travels. And what I liked about her, she came into this event without a look round, but she took to the track really well. Fast starting railer, although she doesn't stay bang on the rails, she's got the all-round pace, combination of early pace and staying power. Savannah Jackpot, he's not a prolific winner, but one thing this dog does is rattle home, and he really surged in the latter stages to qualify. A scrappy racer played to his strengths, maybe the Savannah Jackpot, but he probably needs things to occur up front.
Yeah, he's going to be a big price. We'll get onto the draw very shortly, but Queen Georgia, you know, she's probably tailor-made for this 6:30, isn't she? As you mentioned, she's pacey. It is a speed track, Monmore, whether it be the 6:30 or the 4:80. And you know, she is another one who's had a brilliant year. She won that 3 Steps at Sheffield, and she showed up in competitions. I think the 6.95 at Regency was just a bridge too far for her. But this 6:30 is perfect.
Yeah, and the middle draw suits as well. I wouldn't be too miffed that she draw 1, 2, 3 or 4. I think she's well equipped to cope with various track draws, is Queen Georgia, and she'll be looking to cut loose from the pack, Dave.
Well, let's get to it then. I think the best race of the weekend, the £10,000 at Ladbrokes Summer Stayers Classic. There's superstars everywhere you look in this final. It'll be the 9:04 at Monmore on Saturday night, one of 2 big finals on the card at the Wolverhampton circuit. And here is the all-important draw. Remember, 630 metres, short run to the turn, and it'll be Kunoff Crow on the inside for the champion trainer Mark Wallace at 12-1. Droopy's Clue, it was the anti-pose favourite, the St Ledger champion, at 9-4 in trap 2. Queen Georgia, 3 Steps to Victory winner, 7-2 in trap 3. Baywatch Bullet, the Regency winner, is a big price, 14-1. Savannah Jackpot, a big price as well in trap 5. And Cooler Derry Dust out wide at 5-2. Where do you start here, Tony? I think you have to probably start on the outside, Cooler Derry Dust, because if we saw what we saw in the first round again, Cooler Derry Dust getting first run on Droopy's Clue, that might be that.
Well, that would be that. If Cooler Derry Dust does get first run on any, he's hung. Like he showed that when he turned over Droopy's Clue. It was 7-1 on in the first round. Cooler Derry Dust stays this distance really strongly. I'm going to be with Cooler Derry Dust. I think it could be a massive night for Nathan Hunt if he does the double in these 2 big finals. He'll be cock a hoop for sure. I think Cooler Derry Dust turns no worse than third out wide. Savannah Jackpot, he shouldn't have anything to fear from that rival. If Droopy's Clue led, he would win. Like, there's no danger because he's 37.40 over course of distance, and he's a different beast when he gets in front. But I just think Queen Georgia might win that early battle. And if Clue's got to work hard to get on terms with Queen Georgia, I think Cooler Derry Dust will be loitering with intent out wide by the 3rd bend. And I think he can kick from that stage and put this race to bed. So I'm going to be with Cooler Derry Dust out wide.
Oh, it's a fascinating race. It really is. In Seamus we trust. I think Seamus Cahill, we spoke on this show previously about, yes, you've got to have the right dog in these big competitions, but the trainer, the kennel, have got to know the time of day, get the big run when it matters. I think Seamus Cahill will get a tune out of his Droopy's Clue. I think the draw's worked out nice for him. He's got Kunoff Crow on his inside, who's certainly capable, but you'd fancy him off a level break to clear her. And I think he can hold Queen Georgia. And if he does that and holds Baywatch Bullet, he'll boss the inside. And he might just be able to rail off Cooler Derry Dust around the first 2 turns. I mean, if them 2 are shoulder to shoulder with a lap to go, what a race we will have in store. It is an absolute belter. I'm looking forward to it. I think there's claims for Kunoff Crow at 12-1. Looks a big price. You know, the draw is the draw. And if there is a bit of squeezing, a bit of trouble, she'll be tucked away on the inside and she comes home strong. I'll be hoping Savannah Jackpot can run some sort of race, 66-1 in the Racing Post each way. Hopefully we can get in the first three. Usually in a race of this nature with a very strong runner, you think, well, surely Savannah Jackpot's going to be in the four. But I don't think it's guaranteed, Tony, just because it's such a great race.
Well, no, as you say, like if say, for example, Droopy's Clue, Queen Georgia and Cooler Derry Dust did cut loose, then you still got the strong Kuna Crow, who's another one that could easily make the frame if it got scrappy at any stage. So, yeah, it's one of those finals. Baywatch Bullet's got the draw to overcome, but again, who's to say that she won't bang out, get to the front? It is a great race.
Quality everywhere you look. Cooler Derry Dust for Tony in 6. And in Seamus we trust. Droopy's Clue for me in trap 2. Right, it is that time then. We've been away, we're back. And of course, this is the place for winners right here off the leash, brought to you by the Racing Post in association with Premier Greyhound Racing. And it's time for the best bets of the week. Now, I think it's been a while, but I think you've got the honour, Tony, so I'll let you go first.
Yeah, I've gone to Romford on Friday. There's a race 5, the 7:44. It's just a one-off race over the standard 400 metres. Cat Island in trap 1 for Mark Wallace. He's only had 2 races under his belt this year. He's been off the card since December. But if you look at his form, he contested good puppy races like Droopy's Eddie, Romeo Cypher, King Capaldi, Queen Dusty, Longfellow. So the dog's got talent. I think he's going to strip a lot fitter. I love the makeup. I think he's virtually having a solo trial at Romford on Friday night. I know there's 4 other rivals, but Cat Island can put up a 24 dead, 23.90 run. That might be good enough.
Yeah, that'll be the 7:44 at Romford. And my best bet goes in the race after at Romford on Friday night as well. I'm going to go with Brindle Bully for Dave Mullins, the 801. Got trap 5, I think 6 is vacant. This dog has got plenty of pace. He's been off the card, but he's trolled back well. There's a Newcastle Raider on the inside, I think, will make the market, and he's not guaranteed to get a run early doors. I think he's a litter brother to March on Freddie as well. Dorot's Wildcat, Sea Glass Shadow, litter. Looks the real deal. I've seen him in the flesh, and he's got bags and bags of pace, this Brindle Bully. I think he can cut loose and make all around the outside. So there you go, a quick fire double this week. Our best bets, Tony going with Cat Island in 7:44 at Romford on Friday night, and I'm going with Brindle Bully in the 801 at Romford on Friday night. That wraps up episode 28. We thank Tony as ever for his time and his expertise. Remember, you can watch all the action live on the Sky Sports Racing channel behind the red button on the Premier Greyhound Racing service. There is chocker block big race action coming on the PGR service, so make sure you tune in. Enjoy your racing, gamble responsibly, and we'll see you next time.